James, the youth vote really mobilized in the year 2008, but with an unemployment rate now holding above 8% for many, many months, many of those same college graduates are still jobless or underemployed, and that has many one-time Obama supporters asking where the hope and change they were promised has gone. Here now for a fair and balanced debate, Alex Schriver, National Chairman for the College Republican National Committee, and Russ Snyder, President of the Young Democrats of America. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. Good to see both of you.
Thanks for having me.
Good to be here.
I'd like to start things off with a look at an ad that the Romney campaign has started running that is tailor-made for the youth vote. Take a look.
Four years ago, we were so excited. When I graduated, I didn't have a job yet, but I worked hard. Getting an interview was tough enough. No one was even hiring. After graduating, I wanted a job to launch my career. Now, I just want a job that covers my expenses every month. Today, I'm moving back in with my parents. It sucks. No matter how hard I try, things just aren't getting better. This is not what we voted for.
So there it is, Russ Snyder. I'll give you the first shot at this since you're with the Young Democrats. That's an ad, obviously, and it's a spin, but the statistics bear it out at the same time.
Look, the statistics are actually pretty clear that we've had 30 straight months of private sector job growth, 4.5 million jobs created in that time period, and youth unemployment has actually dropped more than 2 points during that 2.5-year period. So the bottom line is we're actually heading in the right direction. Polls indicate that young voters do not blame Barack Obama for this economy when you look at losing 750,000 jobs a month where he started to where we are now with job creation. He actually has a 25-point lead amongst young voters because they believe that the country is actually headed in the right direction.
Alex, you want to handle that?
Sure. So young people have fared worse than any other demographic in this Obama economy. 258,000 more young people are out of jobs than they were when this president took office. Unemployment among this demographic, almost 16%, twice the national average. The fact of the matter is young people are waking up 4 years later and realizing they're not better off. And our organization, the College Republican National Committee, produced that ad. We're running it in swing states, targeting young voters. There was a poll out last week, a New York Times, Wall Street Journal poll, that had that lead down to Mitt Romney holding 45% of the youth vote. The youth vote is competitive. It's up for grabs, and we think we have a good shot at it this year.
Mm-hmm. Alex, at the same time, there's a generalized perception that young people tend to be more liberal than older people. I think it was Winston Churchill who said, and I wrote it down, "Show me a young conservative, and I'll show you someone with no heart. Show me an old liberal, and I'll show you someone with no brains." How do you counteract that dynamic, that demographic?
So history tells us that's not actually true. Young people have voted Republican in the modern era. Republicans have won the youth vote 3 times since 1970. We actually came within 2 points of tying it in 2000. So we know that it can be competitive. We know that young people are open to voting for Republicans, and we just have to reach them with the right message. 74% of young people's #1 issue are jobs in the economy. That's what our candidates are talking about. That's the issue that we can win on, and we're out there on college campuses talking to young voters about just that.
Russ Snyder, do you buy that statistic that 74% of young people want to see the economy improved? That's their major concern?
Absolutely. The economy is definitely the #1 issue in this election year for probably any age group. But here's the bottom line, though. Young people are not buying the Romney-Ryan message because basically it's a message of, you know, Romney and Ryan have lived the American dream. They walk through the door of opportunity, and then they're going to shut it behind them for the next generation. Paul Ryan, in his budget that Romney endorsed, proposed cutting Pell Grants by 40%. Barack Obama doubled Pell Grant investment. We're actually talking about that generation of young people being able to afford college. Paul Ryan in his budget would have doubled the interest rates on student loans. Barack Obama has made investments, $10,000 tax credit for educational purposes. It's about making sure that we have the same chance as our parents and grandparents, and Mitt Romney has basically abandoned that with his policies and Paul Ryan, both of them.
Let me ask both of you, there's a perception, fair or not, that your generation was the first to be raised in that sort of feel-good, everybody's a winner ethos, where young kids playing soccer, not only the winning teams got the trophies, but the losing teams got the trophy too. And that as you grew up, SAT tests became a little bit easier to take, this kind of thing, and that ethos has taken shape in adulthood. Talking about that 47% that Mitt Romney mentioned, Either one of you want to handle that?
Sure. So our generation has been labeled many things: the lost generation, the boomerang generation. And our point is that the Obama economy has made it worse. More young people live at home today than they have since the 1950s. Half of my generation didn't get up and go to a job. 54% didn't get up and go to a job this morning. So at the end of the day, young people want to be independent. They want to be on their own. But it's becoming more and more difficult in this economy. Our generation believes that we should be able to go out and get a job, sustain ourselves. They want to be independent. They don't want to be part of this helicopter generation that you were referencing and sort of this everyone wins a trophy era. But we're the first generation that has a future that's less bright than our parents. That's always been what the American dream is about. And we need to get back to that, where young people can excel, can be independent, and not live on the dole of the government like this president has pushed young people to do.
All right, Alex, you get the last word. Unfortunately, I'd like to get back to you, Rod. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again on another occasion. Thank you very much. Alex Schriver, National Chairman of the College Republican National Committee. Rod Snyder, President of the Young Democrats of America. Thank you both. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Don.